I mean, there's a couple people I work with, but I'm like, if I cast them, like they come with a lot of wild, unpredictable stuff.
Some people just they're on their phone, they're not really paying attention and just walking
Right.
through, and you're in the middle of a take and he's like,
down to everything, down to this wardrobe with a tag on it and all the things that the people are going to wear.
Founded in 1999 by Jason Burks, Retrospec Films is Oklahoma's largest turnkey production company of its kind. With a full-time team of over 20 talented individuals, a 12,000 square foot studio to create in, and a resume that spans some of the world's largest brands, if you love learning about filmmaking and storytelling, you've come to the right place. On each episode, we discuss the pursuit of creating things and the problems we saw by digging up projects from the last 20 years, giving you a glimpse behind the scenes where the magic happens. You're listening to Retrospec Films from the archives.
Hey guys, welcome and thanks for joining us on Retrospect from the Archives. This is our in-house podcast where we dig up projects from the past and discuss all the different decisions we make creatively, logistically, producing, editing, all the things to make things great. So join with me today. We have Madi Detter. Madi is probably first a designer and then second a motion designer. Would you say that's true? I mean,
art director
as who you
extraordinaire.
are. Like I feel like you're a designer.
Depends what day it is, I guess.
Yeah. Well, anyways, you care a lot about all the things.
Yeah, I care where the things
how you
go.
implement them in 2D, in 3D, in motion, and still in real life.
It's true. I care where the things go, and
Yeah.
that covers everything.
You're a composer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you compose things.
Wow.
Real life.
Yeah. Sometimes in a computer, sometimes in real life. Brandon Forbes.
I just do spreadsheets.
He's a spreadsheet guy, also known as a producer, and but you also do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
You make it happen.
Make it happen. So today we are going to talk about a unique project that we did for the state of Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Working with ICG, agency out of Oklahoma City. And this was for
Real ID.
Real ID. I was trying to think who the bigger organization was, but it wasn't. It wasn't for like the Federal Aviation Administration.
No.
So just
Real ID.
Real ID. So the whole idea was you've got to get your real ID or you might not be able to take your flight on your vacation.
And they've been talking about this for years.
Years.
And then I think,
The
finally...
pandemic screwed it up.
Yeah.
They were talking about this in
Oh.
2018, and I remember flying a lot, and they were like, it's happening, and then it was like
It's not.
LOL, JK.
the pandemic happened.
It's only 7 years later.
Yeah.
They got it figured out.
Yeah. So why don't we roll that? This was just 1 30-second spot, right?
1 30-second spot. We shot it across 2 days.
Mhm.
Could have done it in one, but we decided to make it 2 just to give us time to make. I mean, there was really it was one setup each day. So
Yeah.
we were like, how can we make these as great as possible? Let's give the most amount of time and attention that we would normally not give if we're trying to, cram it in one day. So 2 days, 1 day in Oklahoma City, and then 1 day in Tulsa.
All right. Well, before we beat it up, let's watch it.
Hey, just checking. Is everything okay?
Daddy didn't get his real ID by the May 7, 2025 deadline, so he couldn't board a domestic flight. Do I still have a daddy?
Without a real ID, you could miss more than just your flight.
All passengers must have their real ID.
Get yours before you go. No, really.
Next, hope you have your real ID.
Please follow us.
Where are we going? There's a lot of blue shirts.
Okay. Oh man. Oh man, that was good. That was good. That was good. How did you feel about
I
that?
felt great about it. I think it's cute.
Super cute.
There was a couple different cuts that they kind of went through iterations, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that they landed on the one that they landed on.
Yeah. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's see. Why don't we begin with the concept and the morphing of the concept and the objective? I think, Brandon, that's probably your territory.
Yeah. So obviously, like the Real ID had been something that we had been hearing for a long time. And so I think there was a little bit of like okay with comedy behind this because it's been so long and now it's really happening. And so I think maybe, the concept they brought to us was essentially dad gets left behind on family vacation. And so it was really just like 2 scenarios or 2 scenes. You've got mom and family crying at this vacation place, went through, it was like maybe we could do it at an amusement park, or maybe it's on a beach somewhere, a couple different options until we locked in on a location. And then there's this dialogue that's kind of ambiguous. Like, oh man, I wish Dad was here. Something along the lines where you're just like, oh man, like what happened? And then it cuts and you just see Dad sitting at the airport or getting, said no to at the TSA security checkpoint because he doesn't have his real ID. And so that was kind of the concept. And then it went through a couple iterations as we were really trying to define, like, okay, where in Oklahoma can we shoot? Obviously, we have to stay within a budget, so we can't necessarily go to, like, Six Flags over Houston or wherever, like a really big amusement park. We have a water park in Tulsa that's not that great, who wasn't even interested. And then you've got, what's the one in Oklahoma City, the amusement park?
Yeah. Well, there's Frontier City. But there is a water park in Oklahoma City, too, which is also a little bit on the old and dilapidated side.
And so, but we got lucky, and recently there had been this, like, amazing indoor water park and outdoor water park / hotel, very similar to Great Wolf Lodge, but done just way better, called Okana. And I think it was ICG had a kind of a relationship there. And so we reached out and we were like, I think we can make maybe the interior of this look like it was part of like a cruise ship. Right. And so we could like start with just like a wide drone shot of like a cruise ship and then kind of cut in and be like, yeah, they're on a cruise. And so that was our location for our family. And then obviously the second was an airport. And so we just worked with TSA here in Tulsa and got approval for all that, worked with Oklahoma Film Commission. They were awesome helping us get that set up. And then it was a day in Oklahoma City at Okana and then a day at the airport. And really, really funny script, great actors and actresses.
I'd love to dissect some of the directing and the script, but I think I want to bug Madi first. So Madi, talk to me a little bit about your involvement with this project.
Yeah, so, any project like working with an outside agency and doing especially something that's like a statewide initiative can be like fast-paced and complex and have, so many moving pieces. But the message, it's like an impactful message, you're going to miss out on like these precious family memories if you don't, update your real ID. So it's an important message, and I think that's always so interesting to me to, find props and wardrobe that help communicate, that core message. And this time I was lucky enough that Brandon really helped, and he spearheaded a lot of the props and wardrobe. So we had like a seamless transition on set where I could just go and make sure everything was picture perfect. And shout out to you, Brandon.
I remember like it was like looking at it, like they were very specific. They had like shirts that said like cruise, like family cruise, and like those really awful things. And so like I like sent it all to Madi. I was like, if you find it and help me pull things, like I can order it, because it was a pretty quick timeline. Like a lot of these are, but this one was like very quick because I didn't know like, okay, deadline's coming up, when does it need? And so this was like, normally we shoot it and then they have a decent amount of time for post, but there was like they had 2 weeks for post because of like when the deadline was.
It was a very fast turnaround.
And so we're like, okay. And one thing that we did too, which we can talk about later, is that we, while we were filming on our cameras, we were using camera to cloud, and we were sending proxies back to their team so that they could be editing like the day that we're shooting. Yeah, which was cool.
Yeah, I think that maybe if I were to dissect a little bit of this project, I feel like, one, I have to point out Tony, the dad.
Tony killed it.
Because he was so great. He was so funny.
He just improv like wild. And it's funny because I feel like some of the best stuff comes from that, but you just can't plan or expect it. There's a couple people I work with that I'm like, if I cast them, like they come with a lot of wild, unpredictable stuff, which is fun. But I don't think that was the expectation with Tony. So we kind of had the script, and then it was like, I gave him a little direction. It was like, let's try this, let's try that. And then he just kind of ran with it. And then I was like, just keep going as we were rolling. But it was so funny because we're sitting there filming in TSA, and he's just going on like just forever, like, just improving. And it was so great. Like, what was funny is it was so funny that it ended up changing the edit. So the edit ended up having more time spent on him and less on some other things, which I think was good, because like nothing against the scene in the cruise ship, But I think we kind of struggled with that one a little bit. Like, it was like there was a lot of options, and it was like, how wide do you want to get, and how many little close-ups do you use, and like, is the story telling, and is this person funny, or is that person funny? So I shot it in a way that was kind of weird, where it was like, I shot master shots and then like close up all over the place. So it was like comedically speaking, normally you want to be able to like cut wherever you need to and look at the expression so that it's funny. But really, editorially, it ended up coming down to shortening that a little bit, expanding on what Tony was doing. And I think it's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it was the take that they used in it, but I remember because they had closed off a section of security for us, and they had everything blocked off, but some people just were, they're on their phone, they're not really paying attention and just walking through, and we were in the middle of a take, and he's like getting everybody to go through, and then a guy just kind of like walked
confused
past,
out of his life.
And I was like, you can't. I mean, that's acting, because
he thought Tony was being retained.
He was like actually confused.
He was very concerned. Like, it was hilarious. Oh, it was so funny. It was also great just being in this line of work for me. I spent a lot of time at TSA, and we used, except for one girl, you casted one TSA girl. But everybody else was real TSA.
Yeah.
And it was kind of lame, but also funny because I know like a chunk of them.
You spend a lot of time at the airport.
And one of them acts a lot.
Yeah.
Who's been in many things that we've done. So they're all over there. And it's been so funny, like, even since that shoot, when I go back now, like, they all recognize me. And so it's hilarious. I'm like, well, I'm here anyways. But they're like, oh, you're the guy that did the commercial.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that was me.
Created a memorable experience.
Can you help me get through a little faster? I've already got like clear and pre-check and everything. But was there anything, we had the shirts, and I'm curious from just a general art direction. I guess we had a bunch of bags.
I mean, we pulled everything. And then it was clothes, variety of clothes.
Yeah.
Lots of options on wardrobe. Swimwear.
All kinds of swim stuff.
Swimwear is hard because
lots of floaties.
You order it, and a lot of these talent, like, we're like, hey, ask us for your sizes, and you're like, you're ordering and purchasing and buying, and you have no idea. But then when they get there, you're like, I hope everything
that this is
fits and then matches well. But then you have options like you'd gotten some throw over, like just various things to cover. Because you always have to have more than enough
options. I was going to ask you, Madi, I'm kind of curious your perspective, because obviously you've done a lot of art direction, a lot of prop shopping across the years at Retro, which you're probably coming on like 10 years here, aren't you?
Brandon and I just talked about this.
I think it's like 9.
8, 9?
It might be 8. It was, I think it was 2017.
Okay, we're getting there. So 8. What? And I don't, it's funny because I don't consider you an overly anxious person, but I do. Yeah. But it's funny because I feel like art inevitably on set can have a level of anxiety around it.
If you aren't super organized.
Yes. Now you are, and that's what I wanted to kind of like point out and just pick your brain a little bit about, because it's easy, like for someone like me to be like, oh, it's simple, don't worry about it, just find some stuff, whatever. But then I think about, what was that recent project we did? It was a very large one, and you had like labels on 1,000 different things, and they were all in the vehicle.
Was Beaver's Bend. Was it one?
Was it Beaver's Bend?
I mean, pretty much
usually anything that
large
Madi does.
shoot.
You'll label.
Yeah.
Talk just a little bit about that, because I think it's amazing how a lot of people don't realize that everything that a person's wearing and every prop that they're touching has a lot of intention that goes behind it, and it is a lot of management.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's just organization, and you plan enough in advance, and on set can be hectic sometimes, especially if we're running behind, or, there was a weather delay or something. So it really helps to have everything, broken down into scenes and organized boxes and labeled, down to everything, down to like, this wardrobe with a tag on it and all the things that the people are going to wear in case I need to be pulled to go set up for the next scene, and, the producer can dress them.
Talk to me a little bit about just like scale. Like I know on that project we're referencing, I think we probably had 9, 10, 12 actors, and then it's like 3, 4, 5 scenes, and it's like X amount of wardrobe changes. I mean, what is it normally? Do you organize it per day or per person, or how do you like to do it?
It's per person per day, so both.
Okay.
It's
Colors
broken down.
and numbers.
Yes, lots of numbers and letters. But also sometimes we work with what the people have as well.
Yeah.
Which is fun, you know. It throws another variable into the mix, which is always exciting. And
But everything in the shot, like it's especially in something like that where it's like it's really just 2 shots. Like and anything that you see, whether it's like close up or in the background, like it's even if it's like a little plant that's really far in the background, like it more than likely was moved to be.
Yeah, because we need green back in that corner because it looks
Yeah.
too bland.
You're looking at the monitor and you're like, what doesn't fit or what could be better? Just constantly looking.
Well, I think just to touch on one more thing about the spot before we close up that was unique to it is the camera to cloud stuff, which we've talked about. We do that with Canes quite often. But something historically, I'm very, very resistant to all things new. I'm like, no. Like, we're already doing it better than everyone else, and we're already 5 years ahead of everyone. So when something new comes out, and you, on the opposite end of the scale, are like, something new came out, let's buy 12 of them, which is great. We meet in the middle.
It's true.
But it's funny because camera to cloud, in my mind, is like just crazy, right? Like, I remember when stuff like, I was like, that's so stupid. Who's ever going to need that? It's not going to work, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't even like it when monitors would record. I'm like, what do you need your monitor to record for?
True.
I'm like, who's gonna send their main source through an HDMI cable and consider that the master file? Of course you record on board, you know, whatever. Everybody has different opinions. But it has been unique here recently because first, the reality that we've been able to attach it to phones.
Yep.
And then second, that we're actually able to send like a pretty high quality 4K image pretty fast. And even if you don't want to go 4K and you want to do 1080 and then just do like an offline edit and then reconnect everything. So it's been pretty awesome. I mean, on this project, I mean, I don't know, was the commercial done a day later, 2 days later?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were like they had to have proofs to, you know, their client by like I think end of week, and I think we shot like Tuesday, Wednesday, or I think it was that, or Monday, Tuesday, and so yeah, I mean, it's you can't when you're on a timeline like that, which I don't know, I feel like the past year or two, you know, it used to be like, hey, we're planning the shoot. It's going to be in 3 months, and then like it's going to be in 2 months. It's going to be in 1 month, and they're like, are you available next week? And you're just like, yeah, I guess we can do that. And so like having the ability to, whether it's with art and props, being able to move quick, and then just with production scheduling and making sure we can do it all the way to like, how can we get this footage as fast as possible to the editors? Because otherwise, I mean, we would have gotten it to them maybe the next day, but a lot of, I mean, they're in Oklahoma City, so we've sent plenty of PAs to just drive drives down if we need to instead of overnighting. But I mean, if you got clients in other countries or other states, it's like, doesn't matter. As long as you have a link to that folder, everything we shoot in real time is uploaded with like maybe a 30-second delay.
And, you know, we've talked about it before, but we've done projects where multiple editors needed to work on the same footage for different types of deliverables. Like one guy's working on TV and one guy's working on Instagram and somebody else is working on, you know, Facebook or YouTube things. And everything was being uploaded at the exact same moment and they can all access it. So, you know, those are solutions, again, that I'm very resistant to, but I've allowed this one to.
And when they work, they work.
And it's super cool. It's like game changing, you know?
Yeah,
it is.
It
because
really
it
is.
opens up, like now you can say yes to things and think of things in a way that you wouldn't have necessarily thought before.
Yep. Absolutely. Cool. Well, that concludes this episode of From the Archives. Hope you enjoyed watching this spot and hearing a little bit of the details of how we created it and how we turned it over so quick and worked with our good friends ICG. If you enjoyed watching this and you want to hear more, learn more about what we do, we have like 50-something episodes in season 1, and we're in season 2, and I think we have like less than a dozen. So, but lots of content, lots of projects that we dissect, and you can find it all on our website or all the different places you listen to podcasts. So we'll see you next time. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.